Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the 2019 Mazda 6 in the Grand Touring Reserve package. As always, first and foremost, we will do a quick walk around on the Mazda 6, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. This Mazda 6 is being provided to us by the Mazda here in Southtown, Utah. I will provide a link to their inventory in the description below. Check these guys out if you're on the market for a new Mazda. Let's get right into it. Under the hood here of the 2019 Mazda 6, we have a 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine. Now you can get a naturally aspirated option or a turbocharged option. This one has the turbocharged option. In terms of power outputs, the naturally aspirated option is going to have 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. This turbocharged motor is going to have 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. That is all routed through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now this Mazda 6 is finished in Soul Red Metallic. I absolutely love this color, but you can see we have the LED accent lights right here with the projector LED bulbs just up front. And then we can see how they do the chrome accents that come all the way down here. I think that looks fantastic. Matches with the Mazda logo, which as you can see also doubles as the sensor for the adaptive cruise control. And then you can see you've got some more chrome accenting down here, and then the Soul Red continues onto the front bumper, which I think overall from a front perspective, the Mazda 6 is a very, very handsome car. Now around the side here we have these 19-inch alloy rims with 225mm tires on them. That is also carried over into the rear, and they kind of have like a more of like a machine finish on them, if that makes sense. They're not like a bright chrome, which I think that looks amazing, especially with this Soul Red paint. I'm kind of falling in love with this paint just a little bit. Here's the key fob for the 2019 Mazda 6. So as you can see, there's a couple functions: lock and unlock, and then you can hold this and that will open up the trunk. Now that the trunk is released, let's actually pop into the back right here so you can see that storage space is ample. You got your floor mats back here. You can fold down those seats, 60-40 split if you need a little bit of extra storage in the trunk. Now wrapping things in the back, they've got a nice little chrome strip for accenting right there just below the Mazda logo, and then you can see we've got these signature LED tail lamps here in the rear, and then you can see the exhaust there on the bottom. It is a dual outlet exhaust. There's just another tip over there around the corner of the Mazda 6. Now opening up the door here in the Mazda 6, we can see that we've got this nice silver trim right here. We've got the stitching with the contrasted leather. There is some beautiful black trim right there as well. And let's look at the seats here in the Grand Touring Reserve. So you can see that they've got nice perforations in it with the leather, more of that contrasted stitching all throughout. And you can see that legroom back here is plentiful. We've got some vents right there, and then if we open this up, just some little cup holders. You do have heated seats for the rear. The controls are right here in this little center console thing, and then you can see you get some charging stations. Not a lot of car manufacturers give that much functionality into little armrests, so it's nice that Mazda gives you that. So coming up, we've got keyless entry, so one touch to lock it, and then you'll note that the mirrors will power fold in, and then you press it again, and then the mirrors will power fold out. That is actually a new option for 2019. The Mazda 6s did not have the power folding mirrors before, but we can open up the door here, and then you can see that we've got all of our window controls, mirror controls, all in this little area. We've got more of that silver trim up above, and then we've got the stitching, all of the leather. Everything you can notice is covered in leather here on the Mazda 6. And now let's pop over to the seats. So there's a bunch of controls here on the seats. So you've got your memory seat functions right here, all power adjustment. And then you see you've got more of that stitching with the leather, perforations on the seats as well. And the bolsters aren't super wide, so it's kind of holds you in place, but it's not too narrow to the extent where it's uncomfortable. And then if we look in here, we can see the pedal layout just right there. And then you've got a couple buttons: your hood release, your gas cap, that's your trunk release, stability control, and that's for your lane departure assistance. To start up the Mazda 6, you just put your foot on the brake, push that push start, and then the gauges will do a little sweep. The car will start right up. We've got our steering wheel right here. So I love Mazda's steering wheel design. We've got the logo front and center, and then leather wrapped steering wheel with some stitching on the center of it. You can see those little paddle shifters in the back of it if you want to shift the gears yourself. But you can see you've got all the stuff for the adaptive cruise control right there on that side. And then you've got the info for that little section, and your radio, Bluetooth, and then the volume for the radio on top of that. We've got our gauge cluster set up right here. So you can see you've got the RPMs over on the left-hand side. In the middle, you have your speed. And then over on the right side, you can see that there's that little configurable screen. So there's a bunch of different little menus that you can scroll through on the Mazda 6, give you different bits of information on the car. And then also, I did forget to mention, it does have blind spot monitor. You can see that in the little mirror right there. So we have the infotainment system here on the Mazda 6, and you note that it is a touchscreen. So you can do like little touchscreen functions, but there is a little dial down here. And if you use that dial, you can also use that to go through. So they give you analog, but then also touchscreen on everything. The touchscreen aspect of it, very responsive, really easy to use. And then this dial is pretty intuitive as well. So both aspects on those are really easy to use in general. And then if we pop it into reverse, we can see that a backup camera will pop up with little trajectory lines on the car. So it'll make parking this a lot easier in general. Just down below, we've got some nice leather with the contrasted stitching. We have all of our climate controls in this area, so it is a dual zone climate here in the Mazda 6. And then you do get heated seats and heated steering wheel, which right now it's over 100 degrees outside. That's not really gonna help us out, but we do get air conditioned seats, which I'm gonna be using those the whole time we're doing this review. Very nice luxury feature that the car has. And then you can see under here, we've got this little extra storage area. Now right here is the shifter for the Mazda 6. So do you have a manual shift mode right here, and you can use the paddle shifters if you want to shift the gears yourself, or it's a little bump stick. It doubles with both. And then you've got your little drive mode select here. So you've got your sport mode and your normal mode. It'll say sport right there on the dash when you toggle between the different drive modes. And then you can see these are those analog controls for the radio. So you've got your music button, you have a home screen button, navigation, you've got your volume controls, and then you've got that little dial back button. And then they do give you a favorite button, your parking brake, and then your auto hold if you're like on a hill, for example. Got our cup holders over here, so you can see that you can basically pull that back if you don't want to see those. Here we've got a little center console, so we can pick this up. It is all lined with felt here, and you can see there's a bunch of little charging stations in there. And while we're talking about storage, let's head over to the glove box. Beautiful dash above with more of that contrasted stitching and leather. You can see that the glove box again is lined with felt and is a decent size. So this is where you can put like all your owner's manuals, for example, if you would like. So we've got our whole setup right here. You do have a sunroof. It is just a little shade like that, but you can open up this to let a little bit of extra light into the cabin or extra airflow. And then you do get a little sunglass holder here on top of that, and then you've got your regular light controls, which pretty intuitive on that side of things. So wrapping things up on the interior of this Mazda 6 Grand Touring Reserve, the interior is very nice, which would kind of suggest that this is a luxury car, but it is definitely not at a luxury car price point. This one stickers for about $32,000 before any type of market adjustment, which for the amount of safety tech you're getting and the nice interior, and then also the options that you're getting, is a very, very good value. That all being said, let's take the Mazda 6 out to see how it drives. So as you can see here, we are setting off in the 2019 Mazda 6, and I am very impressed with this car. Like I said, it has a luxury car feel, but it is not at a luxury car price that's gonna make your eyes water. You guys can see here that the steering on it is very direct, and something that you won't be able to see is just the steering feel. The steering feel is a little bit more weighted, and so it feels sportier, but you can see it just, I mean, right as soon as you turn the steering, basically with input, it just instantly goes. Let's talk about visibility here in the Mazda 6. You can see over the hood, it's really easy to see visibility wise there, and then you can see through both of the mirrors. Visibility is really solid in general. Blind spot monitoring on this car is going to help out with that. And then as we take a stop here, let's actually look at the visibility throughout the rear. So you can see in the Mazda 6, it's pretty easy to see on that rear part, and then you can see over the other shoulder. Visibility in general is not a problem with this car. Let's get a little acceleration here with the Mazda 6 with that turbocharged 2.5 liter. Yeah, so you can see the heads-up display right there. I mean, it accelerates more than adequately. This is more than enough power for this car, and for the segment, I feel like it's got more power than most of the other cars, especially, like I said, at the price point this has. It's just a super solid offering. To sum things up on the Mazda 6, if you're looking for a luxury car feel, so you want a smoother ride, and then on top of that, you want luxury features, and then you want a more luxurious interior, but you know, you don't want to pay 40, 50, 60 grand for a luxury sedan, then Mazda is definitely the route to go. These cars have such a nice luxury car feel, but they aren't at that luxury car price, and this new Mazda 6 is definitely worth a look. There we have it, everyone, the 2019 Mazda 6 Grand Touring Reserve. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you are stopping in for the first time, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then again, a big shout out and thank you to Mazda here in Southtown, Utah for providing us with the Mazda 6. If you're on the market for a new Mazda, check these guys out. I'll see all of you in that next video.